Okay, Utah, UCLA. That's a game I'm going to be at. Utah has even more injuries than Tennessee, and I think a lot of you understand what Tennessee is going through. And listen, I get it. Injuries are terrible. Let me just give you a quick rundown for Utah. Joe Williams was their starting running back to start the year, okay?
Feed the machine after he comes out of retirement.
So
feed him, baby.
He gets an injury and retires. Now, they had some good young running backs behind him. Armand Shine, Zach Moss,
Troy McCormick,
all these guys. They all went down. Jordan Howard, a walk-on, comes in, fourth stringer. He goes down. So they called up Joe Williams, and they were like, we really need you back. So he comes out of retirement, Favre-esque, and goes up to Corvallis last week at Oregon State and runs for 179 yards on like
34 carries.
34 carries.
34 times. You're out of retirement. Guess what?
Guess
You're back
what?
in,
Boom,
baby.
here you go.
How those legs feeling
Wait,
Sunday?
you retired for health issues? Here's 33 carries. Good luck.
We're going to finish you off. Man. Utah up to 19, 6-1, 3-1, tied with somebody's Buffaloes atop the Pac-12 South. And then it's this UCLA team that is,
I have
that
no
you
idea.
get the sense they're just hanging on, that there's this offense, defense.
They could either come together and get much better, or it's going to rip apart
get
the
ugly.
seams.
And Mora has really kind of
He was melting down on his punter. I watched that game. Actually, Mike Faithful, who played for Rosen, I thought actually played reasonably
I thought
well.
he was
a
fine.
former walk-on.
Yeah. He couldn't. Hey, what do you got?
They know.
About former
They know.
walk-on? They throw the ball fine.
Yeah.
Good wide receivers.
They cannot run.
They cannot
Can't
run the
block.
ball. They ran the ball for what, 43 yards against
168
Washington
out of
State.
168 teams. They average 91.1 a game, 2.8 per carry.
2.8 per carry.
2.8 per carry. Mora, it's as bad as I've ever seen. Last week, 43 rush attempts. I'm sorry, 43 rush yards, averaging 1.7.
Against Washington State.
1.7.
Think of it this way.
Yeesh.
You can average more than 2.8 yards per carry just by getting back to the line of scrimmage and falling forward. I mean, I don't want to pile on here, but that's why Mora is upset. And listen, he's saying worse things than we're saying about their own running game. Their defense is really good.
Yeah.
Their defense is very good.
Tom
Bradley
Bradley's.
is their defensive coordinator. They're athletic. They tackle well. They've improved since last year. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we saw some sort of 10-9, 14-13 style
But I
of
mean,
game.
everything is Rosen going to play or not?
Right.
I think that's the big question. I'm not sure. It's starting to look
Mora's
like he's going to
spinning
play.
like I think he's
like
close.
he's going
I
to
think
play.
he's close, but
That's a tough one though, because that kid's got a bright future. At least we think he does. We would have said that about Hackenberg 2 years ago, but
I find this interesting. Yes, he has a bright future, but there's also obviously this personal connection between Rosen
They're neighbors. I
and
mean,
Mora.
they live a
go
block
way
apart,
back. So
yeah.
I wonder if there is this sense in Mora's head that I owe this kid extra responsibility more than maybe all of my other
thought it was
players
interesting
because of
last
how
week.
far we go back and what his ceiling is or what his projection.
brought to you by Dr. Pepper. It's a college football tradition.